Hi, this is Ridea keeping it real, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are reading through the Bible using the Good News Bible, and we're on Zechariah. We're almost finished with Zechariah. On Zechariah chapter 12, 12, 13, 14, and then we'll be finished with Zechariah. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have already looked at those chapters in the Haley's Bible Handbook, so I want to go through that first. I think that's going to be important as we read it. So this is a vision of Israel's future. And Israel, according to the Sefer, is Yasharal. Yasharal is Israel. That's how you should say that, Yasharal. So the vision of Yasharal's future. So in chapters 9 through 10, 9, 10, and 11 are called the burden concerning neighboring nations. Chapters 12, 13, and 14 are called the burden concerning Yasharal. So on chapter 12, it's going to be talking about Judah's coming struggle with all nations, and then also the mourning of the house of David. And so it's going to be talking about a family of David, an occasion when there was great sorrow, and they think that it's about Yahushua dying. So the house of David shall be as God. The only member of David's family that was God was Yahushua, who's called the branch back in chapter 3, who would remove the sin of the earth in one day and build the house of God and rule from sea to sea. So this death of the branch in David's family would be the source of God's power against the nations. This is in chapter 12. Chapter 14 is God's victory and universal reign. So the day of the Lord's return, Yahusha's return, or Yahushua's return. I don't know which one it is. We'll see. Inauguration of his everlasting kingdom. So there's going to be a question of whether we should take chapter 14 literally or figuratively. It's also going to talk about the 2/3 in chapter 13, which may mean the larger part of the nation that fell into the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD following the rejection of Yahushua. Here we have it. So here we go. So Zechariah chapter 12. This is a message about Yasharal from Yahushua. Yahushua, who spread out the skies, or Yahusha. So this is a message about Yasharal from Yahusha. Yahusha, who spread out the skies, the Most High who spread out the skies, created the earth and gave life to man. He says, I will make Jerusalem like a cup of wine. The nations around her will drink and stagger like drunks. And when they besiege Jerusalem, the cities of the rest of Judah will also be besieged. But when the time comes, I will make Jerusalem like a heavy stone. Any nation that tries to lift it will be hurt. All nations of the world will join forces to attack her. So know this. This is where we are. Here we've been. At that time, I will terrify all their horses and make all their riders go crazy. I will watch over the people of Judah, but I will make the horses of their enemies blind. Then the clans of Judah will say to themselves, the Most High Almighty gives strength to his people who live in Jerusalem. At that time, I will make the clans of Judah like a fire in a forest or in a field of ripe grain. They will destroy all the surrounding nations. the people of Jerusalem will remain safe. Will remain safe in the city. Verse 7. I, the Lord, will give victory to the armies of Judah first, so that the honor which the descendants of David and the people of Jerusalem will receive will be no greater than the rest of Judah. At that time, the Lord will protect those who live in Jerusalem, and even the weakest among them will become as strong as David was. The descendants of David will lead them like the angel of the Most High, like God himself. Okay, that is Yeshua. Yahushua. Yahushua, or as they call Jesus, Yahushua. The descendants of David will lead them like the angel of the Most High, like God himself. At that time I will destroy every nation that tries to attack Jerusalem. I will fill the descendants of David and the other people of Jerusalem with the Ruach of mercy and the spirit of prayer. That was in Acts chapter 2 that happened. They will look at the one whom they stabbed to death, and they will mourn for him like those who mourn for an only child. They will mourn bitterly like those who have lost their firstborn son. At that time, the mourning of Jerusalem will be as great as the mourning of Hadad Rimmon and the plain of Megiddo. Hadad Rimmon, probably a name for Baal, the god of vegetation in Canaan and Syria. When the vegetation died each year, the worshippers of Baal thought of him as having also died, and they mourned his death. Okay. Each family in the land will mourn by itself. The family descendants from David, the family descendant from Nathan, the family descendant from Levi, the family descendant from Shimei, and all the other families. Each family will mourn by itself, and the men of each family will mourn separately from the women. Okay. Chapter 13. When the time comes, says Yahusha, a fountain will be opened to purify the descendants of David and the people of Jerusalem from their sins and idolatry. At that time I will remove the names of the idols from the land, and no one will remember them anymore. I will get rid of anyone who claims to be a prophet and will take away the desire to worship idols. Then, if anyone still insists on prophesying, his own father and mother will tell him that he must be put to death, because he claimed to speak the Most High's word, but spoke lies instead. When he prophesies, his own father and mother will stab him to death. When the time comes, no prophet will be proud of his visions or acts like a prophet or wear a prophet's coarse garment in order to deceive people. Instead, he will say, I am not a prophet. I am a farmer. I have farmed the land all my life. Then if someone asks him, what are these wounds in your chest? He will answer, I got them at a friend's house. The command to kill God's shepherd. Yahuwah says, wake up, sword, and attack the shepherd who works for me. Kill him, and the sheep will be scattered. I will attack my people, and throughout the land 2/3 of the people will die. And I will test the third that survives, and will purify them as silver is purified by fire. So everything that you've gone through in life, know that you were purified as silver is purified by fire. I will test them as gold is tested. Purification and the test. If you passed, then they will pray to me, and I will answer them. I will tell them that they are my people, and that they will confess that I am their Elohim. Chapter 14. Jerusalem and the nations. The day when the Most High will sit in judgment is near. Then Jerusalem will be looted, and the loot will be divided up before your eyes. The Lord will bring all the nations together to make war on Jerusalem. The city will be taken, the houses looted, the women raped. Half of the people will go into exile, but the rest of them will not be taken away from the city. Then the Most High will go out and fight against those nations, and as he has fought in the past. At that time, he will stand on the Mount of Olives to the east of Jerusalem. Then the Mount of Olives will be split into two from east to west by a large valley. Half of the mountain will move northward and half southward. You will escape through the valley that extends through the mountain to the other side. You will flee as your ancestors did when the earthquake struck in the time of King Uzziah of Judah. The Most High will come, bringing all the angels with him. Woo, that's powerful. When that time comes, there will no longer be cold or frost, nor any darkness. There will always be daylight, even at nighttime. When this will happen is known only to the Most High. I've never heard that in my life. I don't know. Have you ever heard that before? What does the King James say about that? 14:6. Zechariah 14:6. Zechariah 14:6. Obviously, I've read Malachi already somewhere another time. Zechariah 14:6. And it shall come to pass in that day that the night shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Most High, not day nor night. But it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. Okay, so when you read it that way, it's not as powerful as reading it like this, right? I'm telling you. I mean, it gives you, you understand, I understand it better. So verse 8. When that day comes, fresh water will flow from Jerusalem, half of it to the Dead Sea and the other half to the Mediterranean. It will flow all year long, in the dry season as well as the wet. Then the Most High will be king over all the earth. Everyone will worship him as God, the Most High, and know him by the same name. Wow. The whole region from Jeba in the north to Rimmon in the south will be made level. Jerusalem will tower above the land around it. The city will reach from the Benjamin gate to the corner gate, where there had been an earlier gate, and from the tower of Hanel to the royal wine presses. The people will live there in safety, no longer threatened by destruction. The Most High will bring a terrible disease on all the nations and make war on Jerusalem. Their flesh will rot away while they are still alive. Their eyes and their tongues will rot away. King James. And the Lord and this shall be a plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh will be consumed away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall be consumed away in their holes, and their tongues will be consumed away in their mouth. Whew. At that time, the Most High will make them so confused and afraid that everyone will seize the man next to him and attack him. The men of Judah will fight to defend Jerusalem. They will take as loot the wealth of all nations, gold, silver, and clothing in great abundance. So don't talk to me about reparations. We don't need to fight for it. We don't need to pray for it. We don't need to beg for it. None of that. The terrible disease will also fall on the horses and the mules and the camels and the donkeys and all the animals in the camps of the enemy. Then all camps of the enemy. camps of the enemy. Hold on, that's verse 15. Okay. Then all of the survivors from the nations that have attacked Jerusalem will go there each year to worship the Most High as King and to celebrate the Festival of Shelters. So these festivals are very important to know when they are and to celebrate them now. If any nation refuses to go and worship the Most High as King, then rain will not fall on their land. If Egyptians refuse to celebrate the Festival of Shelters, then they will be struck by the same diseases that the Most High will send on every nation that refuses to go. This will be the punishment that will fall on Egypt and on all the other nations if they do not celebrate the Festival of Shelters. At that time, even the harness bells of the horses will be inscribed with the words dedicated to the Most High. The cooking pots in the temple will be as sacred as the bowls before the altar. Every cooking pot in Jerusalem and in all of Judah will be set apart for use in the worship of the Most High. The people who offer sacrifices will use them for boiling the meat of the sacrifices. When the time comes, there will no longer be any merchant in the temple of the Most High. That's it. That's Zechariah. And the picture to draw is this one. It's back from chapter 11 about that shepherd that abandoned his flock. So I'm gonna start coloring that. Probably won't finish it here online, but start coloring it. Zechariah was great. I mean, I never really. I mean, you don't know these unless you read it. How are you going to know this? You may get bits and pieces of it, but you're not going to know it. That's really interesting. Oh, look at the little sheep abandoned. They look almost, and they're chilling, but they look skinny and looking for food. And the shepherd's like, I ain't got time for y'all. Think about, we are the sheep. We must follow the shepherd. So I'm going to finish coloring this, and we're almost there with finishing the Old Testament. This is the end of Zechariah. So until next time.